So as you can see, just hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. And as I've said all along, I'm going to show you the whole process of how I did it. I'm going to talk you through the steps that I've taken, talk about the content that I've created, and give you absolutely everything that you need to understand what the process is, how it all works, and why I was able to achieve it in the last couple of months. So to take it all back to the very start, I think in 2023, at the end of 2023, just to give you a little quick summary, I decided I wanted to become a content creator, and I started posting fashion videos after getting back from Europe. And my first ever videos, which I'm going to pull up right now just to show you how bad they were and how wrong they actually were me trying on clothes and trying to do these fit hauls. I was in Bali at the time, and I thought it'd be a good idea to go and create fashion reels. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never posted a video online. I was so nervous. They absolutely sucked. They didn't work. But it was the fire that I needed to start, going on this journey of creating content. So here are some of them here. Literally so boring, nothing to them. They were never going to work. I was creating content every chance I could, getting better at it, kind of enjoying it, but, as I said, nothing was really working. Last year, as part of what I was working on personally and growing like an e-commerce growth agency, having left PubNaps the year before that, and having done 19, almost $20 million in revenue previous to that, decided to start an e-commerce growth agency. Now, part of that was me actually picking up a camera and creating a personal brand around my knowledge in e-commerce and wanting to work on that, building a personal brand. So last year, decided that I wanted to start creating content around that. Now, once again, completely wrong the way I went about it. I knew the formula, I had all the knowledge, but my delivery was all off. It was something I was completely foreign to, had never really posted proper content, never posted talking head content, didn't have any charisma, had no guidance on it, and was just getting it completely wrong. I understood how to make really good Facebook ads, and that's what I'd done for a very long time, and had generated millions and millions of dollars because of it. But to then take my own advice and put that into my own words, it just wasn't working. So again, to summarize that, it was all, when I look back on it, like the project didn't work out. It was the wrong people involved in it. It was too reliant on me. But the things that I took away from it were how valuable me building a personal brand was. And so at the start of this year, for the third time, kind of resetting in the content era, I had no followers still. It was just friends and family on Instagram. I sat down and was like, what is the biggest opportunity? It was to build a personal brand, and I think Instagram is probably the most, YouTube I think is the number one platform, but second to that is Instagram is a highly valuable platform to build a personal brand, to create what I wanted to create on there, the content that I enjoyed consuming. So this is exactly what I did. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So the first thing I did, very clearly, if we scroll back down to where I was posting talking head videos, I was talking to camera. They were so sterile. I was rambling, like I was trying to shove information down people's throats. I moved away from that. I had a quick batch here of these were just B-roll videos with overlays over them. Shocking idea. It was an idea that someone gave to me. I thought it would be cool to test it out. I posted literally 200 of these videos, I think, and they were so bad. None of them worked. So don't ever do that. Don't listen to me in that sense. And then you can see here, I'll show you the exact moment. The first video I posted, I moved to green screens. Now, there was a reason that I did that. One was the format. I know it's a format that works for the niche that I'm in. For content, marketing, e-com, all of those things. It's really easy for me to sit at camera and do a talking head video that is incredibly boring. But if I add a B-roll to it and I add green screens to it and I show what I'm talking about, show the process, show the videos, whatever it is I'm talking about, that is a format that works, and I know it works. There's other people that do it. So that was the first thing. The second thing I identified was that there was a lack of Australian content. There was a lack of Australian brands. There was a lack of Australian creators. We have a massive e-commerce community here. We have a massive amount of marketers here, but no one's really talking about it. Understandably, America is the epicenter for what happens in the world in terms of marketing, culture, trends, and that's completely fine. But you've got all these Americans talking about American things. So to me, it was like, what can I bring to the table? I'm Australian. I have my finger on the pulse and what's happening locally. And that was my first thing, was like, I'm going to go and create content focused on Australian brands mainly. Now, the reason was for that is, one, there was a lack of it, and two, I felt part of it was a big part of it was I wanted to create content around brands and people in the hope that they would then share my content. Like, I wasn't glazing them, but I was talking about their process and talking about why they did things right, maybe how I would improve something. And from that, a lot of people actually shared my content. So right here on the screen, you'll see this one here, the Satisfy Running. Now, I've just gone and talked about how I made it about Australian brands, and you will see that they do come in. First few brands were American, UK brands, just to get the ball rolling. But there was part of my strategy as well. First video, instantly 4,000 views, 56 likes, 7 comments. Instantly, I'm like, okay, this is clearly a much better format. I go back to Talking Heads, no good. Now, there's many factors to it. Delivery, no cuts. These are just straight Talking Head videos. I hadn't taught myself how to edit properly yet. I'm still using my camera on auto, as I'm doing right now, but I've definitely invested in the time it's taken to edit, and I've shown people how I do that. I'm still creating content about how I edit every day almost. So go back through my videos as well, because you will see a lot of that. The next two videos actually, were the ones where I was really like, okay, I've definitely started to get a bit more traction now, and I'm definitely starting to figure this out. My editing hadn't changed at all. Still using everything the same in terms of like filming on my phone, CapCut, green screen, auto, all of these things. But one, I was writing better scripts instantly almost, because I was cutting a lot of the shit out that I didn't need to talk about. And two, I was just getting more confident. Like, I sat down at the start of the year and said to myself, said to Charlotte, I was like, nothing else matters to me in the world except getting better at creating content. I have so much experience, so much passion about these things, and I would be foolish not to share them and really, give away as much information as I can and try and build a personal brand for myself and be open and honest about it. Like, I think a lot of people do it obviously for the right reasons, but also for the wrong reasons. They just want to, make a quick dollar or whatever their ulterior motives are. Like, I'm very open and happy in showing people when it sucks, when I struggle, and I think that's what people have kind of bought into as well. The other thing that changed for me was at the start of the year, I stopped trying to shove information down people's throats. I stopped trying to be the expert and just be myself. Like, I had a conversation with someone that, became a bit of a mentor. He said, like, why am I trying to act like someone I'm not? Sometimes I swear, sometimes I'm weird, and I just, I ramble on. And he was like, you need to bring that out because you're not portraying that at the moment. I was trying to be too uptight, trying to be too proper, and it just wasn't me, and it's not me at all. So that kind of released the shackles. I was like, fuck, I just need to be myself, If I swear, so be it. Like, people will naturally gravitate or they naturally won't like it. You can't please everyone, and if you try and be too middle of the road, and I'm not saying, you need to go out and be abrasive and, do these things. Some people will find a lot of success with that, but, for me, I was just trying to be this all-encompassing expert, and even though the information was right, it just came off as not genuine at all. So we go up here. The Adrian Portelli video was probably the first big moment for me where I was like, okay, I haven't figured it out, but I was like, this is really cool. Like, this can really work. Had heaps of people starting to kind of share it. Had he's got some great fans and people that love him. Whether you love him or hate him, like, there are a lot of people out there that love him. I had people messaging me, people commenting on it, randoms commenting on it. And then straight after that, I had a guy talking to me just at the gym who was like, have you seen this brand? And I hadn't yet. And it was this window cleaning brand that had an amazing branding. So I did a bit of a deep dive on them, created a video that night, pretty much, posted it, bang, 100,000 views. Like, that was, to me, was like, okay, again, these are all just these little learning things that went along the way. Not every video is going to be amazing and not everything's going to be right. But the main thing was, I was so committed to just posting every single day, and I'm still so committed to it. I think that is the only way to cut through and stand out. Now, some people can create these amazing videos and post once a week, and they cut through, and that's fine. But for someone like me in my position, where everything is new to me in terms of editing, getting this messaging right, like posting consistently, building that all into my workflow and my daily workflow. It's all a foreign concept to me. So the only way I know how to cut through and get better is to just do it every day, because it is a skill. Building confidence on camera is a skill. So that's where we're at right there. That was at the start of January. Had some bangers instantly, and things were good. I had a whole list of brands that I wanted to talk about. Again, not all Australian ones by any means. Lots of American, this guy's American. But then I would always try and bring it back to Australian brands. I had a couple of really good popular ones here, Australian brands. I had people starting to message me a bit more. I started doing follow-ups as well. So I did a follow-up on this video. This is a viral one. Didn't go as well, but that's okay. It all is a spider web, and it brings people back into the fold. I started trying to post these, I saw Alex Hormozy and Cody Sanchez posting these. Tried them, didn't work. Obviously, no one cares who I am at this stage still. I have way too small a following. Not the right strategy, but a good learning curve as well. I think, if I posted them now, they'd probably work a bit better. But it's, I'm more focused on videos at this point in time. Did the Who's Elijah one. That got shared a few times again. Another great one. And then this is where it started to really kick in. I did a video about Grayer, which is a building company. I have a lot of knowledge about that, obviously having been a carpenter once upon a time. I've known Grayer for a very long time, so it was something I was super passionate about. They shared it, and it just went parabolic. They've got 160,000 followers. I got 1,000 followers just from that video. So a big part of my strategy, as I said, was to find people that I could talk about, create amazing videos, give my thoughts on how I'd maybe improve things at the same time. You don't just want to be a parroter of news. You have to have opinions. And if you don't have advice, then you are just someone that just parrots things. You're just saying, okay, well, this is how they do things, but there's no, but here's how I'd improve it, or here's what they're missing. So obviously, I'm very lucky to have that knowledge, and I can put my own spin on things as well. And I think that's why people naturally gravitated to what I had to say, and why they appreciated the things that I was talking about. So Grayer video worked really, really well. And then again, back into this, back and forth, did one about Davey. Went okay. He didn't share it. I wish he did, because that would have been huge. Brands doing content right. About blank. Another massive one. All of these here, as you can see, these are all really great views. Great engagement for me. Lots of shares. Shares is the big thing that we want. The LSKD one, another Australian brand, went really well. And then where did we go to? The next thing I want to talk about is, this is, I would say, here where I really started to invest more time into my editing. So I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent sat here 10, 12 hours a day, watching videos, testing, figuring out how to edit better on CapCut. Now, should I use Premiere Pro? Maybe, I don't know. I don't think you need to, but I really have invested so much time into editing. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's been easy or it's been a quick process. And I think it would be foolish for me to say that it was. So my editing has gotten better. That is a very clear thing. My confidence has gotten better. I enjoy being in front of camera now. I want to work on my delivery. I want to work on the things I say, how I hold my eyes. I know I always look away. I really want to be confident. And so I'm doing this every day purely to get to the point that I'm at now and to get much further. The last thing that I would say, and I will touch on, is where things really kicked off, and how, I've got a couple more in terms of I doubled down on a building video again on another brand. They shared it, 100,000 views. I did this one here, almost 250,000 views. This is my simplest video ever, but it was the best one. Just comparing things. People love visuals, and they can show you. You can show them why something should be this way and why it didn't work the other way. That's a 10-second video. Took me no time at all. I spent hours editing and filming all these other videos, and they get 3,000 views, and then this one gets 250,000. So that's just the luck of the draw and how things work. The last thing I'll say, and how I've got to 10,000 followers in the last couple of months, even though it has been a couple of years prior, all of those little bits, all of those little bits and pieces along the way were learning curves, and they were setting the stage for these few months this year where I really did go from it's not 0 to 10,000 obviously, but I would consider it that, because I felt like I was starting at scratch. Was the series. Now, everyone talks about series. Some people get them right, some people get them wrong. I personally, without tooting my own horn, think I got it right. I had a lot of growth through this, and this is where the majority of the growth came from. I showed up every day, even though I was already doing that. People knew I was doing it because I was going 1 to 30 every day. 30 videos in 30 days is actually quite a lot. It's quite hard to do, to show up every day, to get them out, get them scripted, filmed, edited on the day. I was trying to do one day in advance, but if I had something on, or like we had one weekend where I was away, it got stressful for a little bit there, but it worked, and I'm so grateful that I did it. I stuck to it. As I said, my videos got better along the way. My editing got better. I doubled down on this format of showing people in between the before and after scenes. So in between all of this, I doubled down on it a few times, as you can see. So 250,000 views, 134,000 views. So I posted more than 30 videos in those 30 days. Like I probably posted across all the platforms, individual pieces of content, maybe 40 pieces of individual content, but across all those platforms, like 4 platforms, I posted over 200, really close to 150, 200 times. Like I was all in on it, and that's kind of what you have to be like if you really want to grow. I think like some people can just do quality over quantity, but when you're starting out, I think you need to do quantity over quality just to figure out your voice. Like now I am much more confident in the things I say and the delivery and what I want to talk about and how it works. So that's all I really have to say at the moment. The 30-day series is done. I've had some bangers since then, had some really good videos, had some not so good ones, but that's what it's all about, is just consistently showing up every day and trying to get better, working off of things that have already worked before. You can see again, I'm going back to this same format because it works. I'm going back to green screens because I know they work, and they're speaking about specific people that I want to reach. Like I want to talk to professional athletes. I want to show people behind the scenes on how to create content. Like I want to speak with their cool clothing brands. So I'm making videos about them. All of these things are very, very calculated, and there is a method to what seems like madness, and someone just figuring it out. So that's all I really have to say. I'm just going to end it there. I hope this is valuable. Leave a comment if you have any questions.